The bullet tore through my chest like a freight train from hell, but it was the betrayal that really killed me. My best friend, Hell, my mentor, smiled as the cops dragged me away in cuffs. Her lipstick still perfect, whispering, "You deserved this, Lucia." And just like that, in the cold fluorescent lights of the precinct, my world went black. But death. Turns out it's just the universe's cruelest do-over button. I woke up gasping, not in some ethereal void, but in my old queen-sized bed in my cramped San Francisco apartment, the one with the leaky faucet and the view of the Golden Gate Bridge mocking me through fogged-up windows. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, September 15th, 2023. Friday. The day my boss, Richard Hale, called me into his office to discuss my future. Except there was no future. Not then. Not after he gutted my promotion and framed me for embezzlement. This time, I remembered every lie, every backroom deal, every knife in my back. And Richard? He was about to learn what happens when a dead woman walks. The coffee burned my tongue as I scrolled through my inbox on the Muni train to Technova's headquarters in Palo Alto. Same old grind. Emails from interns begging for coffee runs. A reminder about the quarterly board meeting. And there it was, the calendar invite from Richard at 2 p.m. Performance review, Lucia Reyes. My stomach twisted. Not from nerves this time, but from the acid burn of memory. Last go-around, I'd walked into that glass-walled office, buzzing with adrenaline. My pitch deck for the AI ethics overhaul clutched like a lifeline. I'd poured my soul into it, nights blurring into dawn. Fueled by Red Bull and righteous fury over how our facial recognition tech was screwing over minorities in real time. Richard had nodded. All Silver Fox charm. Then dropped the bomb. Lucia, the promotion's on hold. Budget cuts. Lies. All of it. He'd siphoned funds to his side hustle. A shady startup peddling the same tech to private prisons. And pinned the shortfall on me. By Monday, I'd have been blackballed. My career a smoking crater. The stress? It pushed me over the edge, literally. A freak accident on the office stairs, courtesy of a loosened railing that the maintenance logs would later prove I'd ignored. But I knew better. Sarah Klein, my so-called bestie and Richard's golden child, had done the deed. She'd confessed in a drunken haze once. Post-funeral drinks. You were always too loud, Lucia. Too brown? Too mouthy. Yeah. That stung worse than the fall. The train jolted to a stop at California Avenue, and I stepped out into the crisp Bay Area morning. The kind that promised innovation and fortune but delivered soul-crushing ladders to nowhere. Technova's campus loomed ahead, sleek pods of glass and steel, dotted with food trucks and ping-pong tables to keep the serfs happy. I badged in, flashing a smile at the receptionist who, in my previous life, had leaked my confession to the press. Karma's a bitch. Brenda. My desk in the open-plan bullpen was a war zone of sticky notes and half-eaten protein bars. I fired up my laptop, fingers flying over the keys. First things first, back up everything. In my old timeline, Richard had wiped my drives clean after the frame job. Not this time. I mirrored my files to a hidden cloud drive, encrypted with a key only I knew quantum grade, courtesy of a side project I'd buried in my personal GitHub. By noon, the office hummed with pre-weekend energy. Hipsters in hoodies debated crypto crashes over kombucha. VCs loitered by the espresso machine, sniffing out the next unicorn. I spotted Sarah across the floor, blonde bob, yoga-toned arms waving as she charmed a cluster of engineers. She'd been my roommate in grad school at Stanford, the one who cried on my shoulder after her divorce, then slept with my fiancé to test his loyalty. Water under the bridge? Hell no. She'd sold me out for a corner office. I sauntered over, casual as a cat burglar. Sarah, girl, you won't believe this pitch I'm prepping. Richard's gonna eat it up. Her eyes lit up, that predatory gleam I now recognized.
Oh, Luce, spill.
You know I live for the drama. We huddled by the snack bar, and I fed her just enough, teased the ethics angle, dropped hints about auditing the black box algorithms. Her laugh was a tinkling bell, but her questions probed like scalpels. Wait, you're flagging the prison contracts?
Bold.
Richard might not love that.
Bingo.
She was already mentally filing it away for her afternoon tea with the boss. At 2 p.m. sharp, I knocked on Richard's door. His office was a shrine to excess, Eames chairs, a Warhol knockoff, and a mini fridge stocked with single malt scotch. He looked up from his triple monitor setup, wire-rimmed glasses perched on a nose sharpened by too many trust fund facelifts. Lucia.
Come in.
Grab a seat. I did, crossing my legs in the pencil skirt I'd chosen for armor. Black. Severe. No frills. Richard, thanks for this. I've got the deck ready. It's game-changing. He leaned back, steepling his fingers. Classic power pose. Before we dive in, there's something we need to address. The Q3 projections. They're off. Significantly. Here it came. The hook. In my mind's eye, I replayed the script, his feigned disappointment, the evidence of forged invoices bearing my digital signature. But I beat him to the punch. Off how? Because I've been cross-referencing with the ledgers, and everything ties back to the offshore transfers.
You know,
the ones funneled to Hale Ventures? His smile froze. A glitch in the matrix. Hale Ventures? That's personal, Lucia. Not company business. Bullshit. The word hung in the air like tear gas. I slid a tablet across the desk, screen glowing with screenshots, wire transfers from Technova's slush fund to a Cayman account linked to his nephew's startup. I'd pulled them last night, post-rebirth, using a forgotten admin access from my intern days. This is embezzlement, Richard. Textbook. And if the board sees it, you're done. He blinked, then chuckled, low. Dangerous. Cute bluff. You think you can waltz in here with Dr. Docs and not doctored. Verified. Blockchain timestamps don't lie. I tapped play on a voice memo. His own slurred words from a boozy investor dinner. Technova's just the front.
Boys.
Prisons pay triple for the untraceable stuff. The color drained from his face, leaving him the shade of overbrewed tea. Where the hell did you get that? Doesn't matter. What matters is my promotion? It's happening.
Today.
Or this goes to the SEC by end of day. He slammed his desk, veins bulging like overclocked cables. You have no idea who you're messing with. Sarah's got your number.
Kid.
One word from her, and you're out.
Sarah.
Of course. The puppet strings. Let her try. But first, sign off on the VP slot. Ethics and compliance. Now. He stared, calculating. I could see the gears deny, deflect,
Destroy.
But the evidence was ironclad. A noose he'd tied himself. With a grunt, he pulled up the HR portal, fingers stabbing keys.
Fine.
VP Reyes.
Congrats.
But this isn't over. I stood, smoothing my skirt.
Oh.
It is. For you?
Yeah.
Enjoy the fall. Walking out. The bullpen blurred into cheers. Wait.
No.
That was my imagination. Reality was whispers. Sidelong glances. Brenda at reception smirked like she'd won the lottery. By Monday, the chaos would hit. Richard's resignation. Leaked memos. Sarah's frantic damage control. But I'd be the phoenix in Louboutins, rising from my own ashes. That night, back in my apartment, I poured a glass of Napa Cab, cheap, but victorious, and toasted the mirror. To second chances, Lucia.
Mocking bleed.
But as the wine warmed my veins, doubt crept in. Revenge tasted sweet. But how deep did the rot go? Richard was the tip, Sarah, the blade. What if the whole company was a house of cards built on stolen dreams? And me, just a Latina coder from East LA, clawing for a seat at the table. This rebirth wasn't a gift. It was a loaded gun, and I was the one pulling the trigger. Monday dawned like a hangover. Gray skies over the bay. My phone exploding with notifications. VP offer accepted. Chaos ensues. The tech blog screamed. Pixels dripping schadenfreude. Richard had bolted at dawn. A personal leave that smelled like federal marshals. The board convened an emergency Zoom. Faces pixelated and panicked, demanding answers from yours truly. I logged in from my kitchen table. Camera angled to catch the morning light just so, professional poise masking the storm. Ladies and gents, let's cut the crap. Technova's been bleeding cash to Richard's pet projects. I've got the receipts. And the ethics breaches? They're not footnotes, they're footnotes on fire. Murmurs rippled through the grid.
Elena Vasquez.
The token diverse board member, me in 20 years.
Leaned in.
Lucia, this is explosive. You have proof. More than proof, I've got a full audit trail. But here's the kicker. Our AI's been greenlit for IC contracts.
Facial retargeting immigrants.
My people. Your people.
Elena.
Gasps. Feigned outrage. They all knew. Technova wasn't building the future, it was fencing it to the highest bidder. By lunch, the stock dipped 8%. Analysts howling about internal turmoil. Sarah cornered me in the executive lounge. Now mine. Apparently, her face a mask of Botox betrayal. What the fuck?
Luce?
You screwed us all. Us. I sip my latte. Black as my soul. You mean you and Richard's golf buddies?
Nah.
This is cleanup. She hissed. Low and venomous. You think you're the hero? That fall last time? It was mercy. You were drowning in your own ambition, snooping, accusing. Richard just helped you along. The confession hung, casual as confetti. My pulse thrummed, visions of twisted metal and sirens flashing. You loosened the railing. Pushed me. Even? Her laugh was brittle. Pushed? Please. You slipped. Grief does that. But her eyes darted, guilty. Cornered. I leaned in, voice steel. Confess on record. Sarah. Or I dropped the nanny cam footage from my desk. The one where you forged my sig on those transfers. Bluff. Half. I'd rigged a hidden feed weeks ago, pre-death habit from paranoid coding days. She paled, then bolted, heels clicking like gunfire. The afternoon blurred into depositions, lawyers swarming like sharks. I played the whistleblower card hard, leaking sanitized docs to ProPublica. By evening, CNN looped my face. Technova VP exposes corruption. Is Silicon Valley's golden goose cooked? But victory's a double-edged sword. My phone rang, unknown number. MS. Reyes? This is Agent Torres. FBI. We need to talk. Your name's on a list. Richard didn't act alone. A list? My blood iced. The prison deals weren't side hustles. They were pipelines to black market data, harvested faces of the undocumented, sold to cartels for hits. And me, in the old timeline, I'd been the fall guy not just for embezzlement, but for greenlighting the whole damn thing. A signature I'd never seen, forged in my name, buried in a server farm in Reno. Tuesday, I met Torres in a dive bar off Market Street, neon flickering, jukebox crooning Springsteen. He was stocky, scarred knuckles, the kind of Fed who'd seen too many wiretaps. Lucia's your alias in the docs. Reyes. You signed off on the exports. Customs flagged it 6 months ago. I was framed. I snapped, sliding him a USB drive. Everything's here. But dig deeper, Sarah's got ties to the buyers. Ex-hubby in private equity, laundering through Miami shells. He pocketed it, eyes narrowing. This could blow wide open. Cartels, feds, the works. You sure you want in?
In?
Hell, I was all in. This wasn't just revenge, it was reckoning. But as I left, shadows clung, a black SUV idling across the street, tinted windows whispering threats. Wednesday escalated. Protests erupted outside Technova, activists chanting "No tech for tyrants," signs decrying AI racism. I addressed the crowd from the steps, megaphone in hand. We built this empire on lies. Time to burn it down and rebuild right. Cheers thundered, but inside, doubt gnawed. Was I the savior or the arsonist? Sarah struck back that night. My apartment door splintered under a crowbar. 2 goons in ski masks, reeking of cheap cologne. I fought dirty, lamp to the knee, pepper spray to the eyes. They fled, but not before one snarled. Klein says hi. Back off. Or next time it's permanent.
Klein.
Sarah. She'd gone full scorched earth. I barricaded the door, heart pounding, and dialed Torres. They're coming. All of them. Stay put. We're raiding her place at dawn. Dawn brought sirens, choppers whirring like angry hornets. Sarah's McMansion in Atherton crawled with feds, vaults cracked, servers seized. She emerged in silk pajamas, cuffs glinting, spitting venom. You bitch. This is your fault. Mirror. Sarah. Look close. As they loaded her up, our eyes met, hers wild, mine cold. You killed me once. Won't get the chance again. But the twist hit like vertigo. In the evidence hall, my old engagement ring, pawned by her years ago. And a photo me and her at Stanford, arms linked, before the poison set in. She'd envied me then, stolen from me since. Not just ambition. Jealousy, pure and rotting. By week's end, Technova restructured under my interim watch, ethics audits mandatory, prison contracts axed. The board offered permanence, CEO Reyes. I turned it down. Too much blood on the C-suite carpet. Instead, I launched Reyes AI, open source, bias-free, for the underserved. First client? A non-profit fighting deportation machines. Success? Yeah, but hollow. Rebirth gave me power. But the scars? Eternal. One night, months later, I stood on the Golden Gate, wind whipping my coat. The bridge hummed below. Indifferent. I'd won. Richard in Leavenworth. Sarah facing 20 for conspiracy. But victory's echo was loneliness. No fiancé, that snake bolted early. No bestie, bullet dodged. Just me, and the ghosts I'd exorcised.
A text buzzed, Elena.
Dinner? We need more like you. Lucia. I smiled. Fog rolling in. Second chances aren't clean. They're messy. Brutal. American as apple pie a la mode with arsenic. But damn if they don't taste like freedom. The Fed's raid on Sarah's place wasn't the endgame, it was checkmate's opening move. Agent Torres called me into a nondescript federal building in San Jose, beige walls, flickering fluorescence, the scent of stale coffee and regret. Reyes. You're deeper in this than we thought, he said, sliding a manila folder across the Formica table. Inside, redacted emails. My forged SIGs glowing like neon indictments. I flip through. Pulse steady. Framed. Again. But I know the players now. He nodded. Jaw tight. Richard was the money man. Sarah the fixer. But the buyer? Victor El Lobo Ramirez, cartel enforcer out of Tijuana. Your AI tech? It's IDing hits on rivals. Migrants. Anyone who crosses the line. And your name's on the manifests.
El Lobo.
The name slithered through my memory, a ghost from East LA days. When I'd coded apps for community centers to track gang tags. He'd been small time then. Eyes hungry for tech edges. Now, kingpin with a hard-on for algorithms. How do I help? Torres eyed me like a loaded dice. Wire. Get him talking. But one slip. Lucia. And your accessory after the fact, twice over.
Twice.
The word echoed my deathbed haze. Sirens wailing as paramedics pried my lungs open. Fine. I'd play Judas. Back at Reyes AI's pop-up office, a WeWork in Soma. All exposed brick and overpriced avocado toast, I assembled my war room. Hired a hacker kid from Berkeley, Mateo, with dreads and a moral compass sharper than his Kali Linux skills. Boss lady. This is suicide, he said, cracking his knuckles over a triple monitor. Cartels don't negotiate, they bury. Exactly, I replied, popping a caffeine gum. So, we dig first. We trace the money. Crypto trails from Hale Ventures to Miami Mules, then south of the border.
A Lobos Front.
A logistics firm importing avocados, code for bodies and bites. I set the hook, a cold email from a burner account, posing as Sarah's associate. New facial rec upgrades. Untraceable.
5,000 pesos Guayerd.
He bit by noon. Voice call. Gravelly Spanglish. Senorita Klein's ghost? Thought the feds clipped her wings. What's the play? Expansion. I purred. Voice modulator humming. Your rivals in Sinaloa? We tag.
You beg thing.
Demo, tomorrow. Encrypted link. Mateo whistled as I hung up. You're nuts. Hot. Flattery later. Rig the demo, backdoor virus. When he clicks, We own his network. That night, insomnia gripped like a vice. I paced my new loft in the Mission graffiti walls, taqueria smells wafting up, replaying the fall. Not just the stairs, but the build-up, Richard's pats on the back turning to slaps, Sarah's whispers in bored ears. I'd trusted them, blind to the glass ceiling etched with my blood type. Thursday's demo was a digital ballet.
A lobos fa pupat grain warehouse.
Guards toting AKs like umbrellas. Impressive, he grunted as my mock AI scanned a test face, his pulled from Interpol. Locks on.
Now.
The real juice.
Click.
Mateo's worm slithered in. Exfiltrating terabytes. Ledgers of hits. Client lists naming politicos from Sacramento to Mexico City. Torres got the drop. SWAT stormed the border crossing at Calexico by midnight.
A lobos cumboy.
Lit up like a rave. Non-lethal rounds popping tires. News hit Friday. Cartel tech bust. Silicon Valley's dark secret exposed. My face stayed off camera. But the whispers? They crowned me Shadow Queen. But shadows have teeth. Saturday. Mateo vanished, poof. Like a bad commit. His last text. They're on to us. Run. I didn't run. I fortified. New locks. Panic button. A Glock from a shady contact in the Tenderloin. Permits be damned. Controversy was my middle name now. Sunday brought the knock, not feds. But Elena Vasquez. Bottle of mezcal in hand. Lucia. You look like hell.
Spill.
Over shots. I unloaded. The wire. The worm. The wolf. Her eyes widened, then hardened. You're playing with fire.
But damn.
Girl. You're scorching it. She was ex-DEA. Board seat her retirement gig. I can pull strings, official cover. But you gotta decide, whistleblower or warrior. Warrior. The word ignited something primal. East LA grit surging. Both. But first, find Mateo. We traced him to an Oakland squat house. Cartel tattoos fresh on his arms. Coerced?
Nah.
Kid was broke. Desperate, hacked for hire on the side. They paid better, he mumbled. Cuffed in the back of Elena's Tesla. Betrayal number.
What?
12. I let the feds have him. Mercy?
Nah.
Lesson. Monday's board call was a circus. Proxies dialing in from bunkers. Stocks rebounding on reform pledges. I pitched hard. Sunset all legacy contracts. Open source the core. Or we fracture, me included. Murmurs. Then applause. Votes tallied. Reyes AI spins off as subsidiary. Me at helm. Chaos ensued. Protests morphed to partnerships. VCs threw term sheets like confetti. But El Lobo's ghost lingered. A package arrived Tuesday, no return address. Contents, my old Technova badge. Shredded. With a note in block letters. Second death's the charm. Panic clawed. But I channeled it.
Hired peace.
Beefed security. Torres looped me in. Ramirez slipped custody. Heading north. For you. The hunt flipped. I wasn't prey. I was the algorithm. Predicting moves. Mateo's confession cracked more. Safe houses in the Presidio. Drop points at Fisherman's Wharf. Wednesday night. Fog thick as lies. I staked out the wharf. Tourists milled. Sea lions barked mockery. There, hoodied figure. El Lobo's scar peeking. I tailed. Heart a jackhammer. Glock heavy in my waistband. He ducked into an alley off Jefferson, reeking of fish guts and fear. Reyes, he growled,
Spinning.
knife out, eyes feral. You burn my empire. Collateral, I said. Steady. For the families you shredded. He lunged sloppy. Desperate. I sidestepped. Glock barking suppressor soft. Leg shot.
Non-lethal.
He crumpled, cursing in Nahuatl. Torres arrived with blues, hauling him like luggage. Nice work, civilian. But next time, call first. Next time, I holstered, adrenaline crashing. I'm done playing. But done?
Lies.
Thursday brought the twist. Forensics on El Lobo's phone. A contact, Richard's prison alias. Uncle Rick, text read. Get the girl. She knows too much. Richard. Out on bail. Scheming from a halfway house. The betrayal deepened. Family ties to the wolf. Blood thicker than code. I confronted him Friday. Visitor's booth at County. Plexiglass grimy. His orange jumpsuit clownish. Nephew's cartel plaything? Classy. Richard. He smirked. Receiver greasy. Survival. Lucia. You're the glitch. Always were too smart. Too ethnic for the club. Club's close. I slid a photo under the slot. His sister's obit. OD'd on cartel product years back. Karma's got your number. His face cracked grief.
Raw.
She was clean. They lied. Twist within twist. El Lobo's poison claimed his own. Richard's empire? Built on sister's grave. He hung up. Broken. I walked out. Sun-piercing clouds. Vengeance?
Pyrrhic.
But power?
Mine.
Reyes aibumt, grand sporing. TED Talk booked. Elena became partner. Nights blurring into boardroom battles and bar crawls. Success. American style. Relentless. Ruthless. Yet, in quiet, the hook echoed, that bullet, that smile. Rebirth wasn't absolution. It was amplification. And me, I'd amplify louder. Richard's confession rippled like a server crash, system-wide failure. Turns out, his side hustle wasn't greed. It was grief-fueled madness. Sister's death lit the fuse. El Lobo the accelerant. But sympathy? Not my OS. I fed the details to ProPublica anonymously. Tech tycoons cartel kin from boardroom to blood money. Headlines detonated. Burying Technova in subpoenas. Saturday. I holed up in the loft. Mateo's betrayal a fresh scar. Kid flipped for 30 pieces of crypto. Judas 2.0. Elena dragged me out for dim sum in Chinatown. Steam rising like unanswered prayers. You're spiraling. Mija, she said, chopsticks poised. Win the war. Lose the soul? Not your style. Soul. I snorted. Slurping kanji. Traded that for the reboot. She fixed me with that ex-agent stare.
Bull.
You're building something real. Don't let ghosts code your future.
Ghosts.
Plural. That night, I dreamed to fall again, not stairs, but free fall from the bridge. Sarah's laugh wind-whipped. Woke sweating. Dawn's light mocking. Monday's all-hands at Technova was electric, holographic projections. Nervous applause. I took the stage. Wireless mic hot. We're not just pivoting, we're purging. No more shadows. Ethics isn't a checkbox. It's the damn engine. Crowd ate it. Devs nodding. Execs squirming.
Post-speech.
A line formed, interns with pitches, VCs with checks. Among them, Javier Ruiz, my ex-fiancé. Suit crisp, smile sheepish.
Luce.
Heard about the shakeup. Coffee.
Javi.
The snake who'd slithered out post-frame job. Citing irreconcilable stress. Sarah's test drive? Passed with honors. Coffees for closers, I said. Icy. What's your angle? Redemption? He shrugged. Boyish charm fraying. I was wrong. Let me prove it. I almost laughed. In the old life, I'd begged for scraps.
Now,
I serve the feast.
pass.
I've got enough wolves at the door. He lingered, eyes pleading. Sarah. She told me things. About you. Unstable. I believed her.
Believed.
The word knifed. Goodbye. Javi. Tuesday brought heat. Congressional hearings looming. Senators grilling on AI's role in human rights abuses. I prepped testimony. Words weaponized. Technova didn't build tools. We built traps. For profit. For power. No more. But power corrupts. Absolute or not. Wednesday. A board leak. My aggressive tactics painted me as loose cannon. Whispers. Reyes is in too deep. Feds. Cartels? She's toxic. Toxic. The label stuck. East LA echoes of too much. I fought back. Counterleak. Richard's full ledger. Implicating 3 directors. Stocks tanked. Resignation snowballed. Chaos peaked Thursday. Protesters breached the gates, not the righteous kind, but agitators bankrolled by rivals. Signs scrawled with slurs. Reyes out. Real Americans in. I faced them. Bullhorn blazing. This isn't about color. It's about cash. Who's paying you to hate? A brick sailed, shattering a window. Security swarmed, but not before a chant rose. Traitor, traitor, traitor. Irony. Thy name is Lucia. Elena pulled strings. SFPD cleared the lot. Arrests made. That night, over tequila in her Pacific Heights penthouse, she dropped the bomb. The board's voting tomorrow. Your head on the block. For what? Winning. For controversy. Your box office. But they're scared. Silicon Valley loves disruptors until they disrupt the donors. I paced. Skyline twinkling betrayal. Then I go nuclear. Friday's vote was virtual. Proxies hiding. I crashed it uninvited. Feed hijacked. Before you crucify. Watch this. Screen split. Clips of cleansed code deploying in clinics. Schools. Testimonials from migrants saved by my open source scans. Silence. Then Elena. All in favor of Reyes interim CEO? Eyes drowned the nays. Victory lap? Stumbled. Javi waited outside. Roses in hand. Saw the feed. You're unstoppable. Stock much. I snatched the bouquet. Thorns pricking. What now? Hero?
Dinner.
Real talk. Against better judgment. I went. French bistro in Hayes Valley. Candlelight soft. He spilled. Sarah's grooming. Her web of lies. She isolated you. Made me doubt.
Doubt.
We'd been fire once. Late nights coding. Dreams of equity. Why now? Because I see you.
The real you.
Reborn. The word hung. Electric. Post-dinner. His loft. Sheets tangled. Regrets aired. Morning light found us bruised. Hopeful. But hope's fragile code. Monday. El Lobo's trial broke. Guilty on all. Life without. Testimony?
Meaning.
Remote. Details of the wire. The wolf's howls. Cross-exam. MS. Reyes. Motive for entrapment. Justice. I shot back. Your client's motive? Murder by metadata. Jury ate it. Verdict sealed. But leaks followed, my cartel ties, Javi's name whispered as mole. Paranoia peaked. Mateo. From witness protection. They're coming for your man. Boss.
Javi. Bait.
Tuesday night. His place ransacked, gone. A note. For the glitch. Heart seized. I mobilized. Elena's contacts. Torres TAC team. Traced to an abandoned warehouse in Hunters Point, Bayview fog. Rust and ruin. We stormed, flashbangs popping. Shouts in Spanish. Javi bound. Bruised. Captors cartel remnants. Eyes wild. Gunfire cracked, my Glock answered. Shoulder grazed. Cleanup, 2 down. Javi freed. In the ambulance. His whisper. Worth it. Always. But as sirens wailed. Doubt coded in. Love as liability. Wednesday's headlines. Reyes raid. CEO's fiancé in cartel crosshairs. Controversy crested. Pundits decrying vigilante justice. Calls for my resignation. Board buckled. Emergency meet. Lucia. Step back. Let the pros handle.
Pros.
The suits who'd enabled it all.
No.
We end this my way. My way. Public mea culpa. Presser at City Hall. I've bled for this fight. But power without accountability, that's the real crime. I stepped down, interim to advisory. Reyes AI independent. Fallout. Cheers from the streets. Jeers from the towers. Javi proposed that night. Rings simple, our old promise. Build with me? I hesitated. Bridge lights blurring tears.
Yes.
But no ghosts.
Ghosts-lied.
Thursday. Anonymous drop. USB with footage. My fall, staged. Sarah's voiceover. Push her. Make it look real. Not accident. Murder. Taped. For leverage. Rage rebooted. I didn't call feds. I called her lawyer collect. From prison. Sarah. Game's not over. Her laugh. Tinny. Knew you'd find it. Come get me.
Luce.
One last betrayal. Twist's blade twisted deeper. She hadn't just killed, she'd curated my myth. Friday. Visitation. Her cell block. Fluorescent hell. Why? I demanded. Glass cold. Envy, she rasped.
Gaunt.
You rose. I clawed. Richard promised the throne. Throne of bones. She slid a key, literal.
Tiny.
Locker 47. Evidence. Burn it all. Or join me. Choice, destroy. Or detonate.
Itchos fire.
Locker 47 at San Quentin's visitor annex. Rusted. Innocuous.
Inside.
Not cash or coke. But drives, terabytes of Technova sins. Unredacted. Contracts with rendition firms. AI models trained on Guantanamo data. And deeper, Sarah's manifesto. Digital diary of dissent. Entries from our Stanford days. Lucia's light blinds. Must eclipse. Eclipse. The word chilled. She'd orchestrated not just my death, but our friendship, a slow poison from day one. I didn't burn it. I weaponized. Saturday. Hold with Elena and Torres. We sifted. This indicts the Valley. DARPA ties. CIA cutouts. Torres whistled. Whistleblower's wet dream. Or your noose. Noose snapped once. I synced to secure servers. Prepping the dump. Javi paced. Ring box fidgeting. Lucia. Marry me first. Then apocalypse.
Tempting.
Normalcy's siren song. But normal died with me. Sunday's drop. WikiLeaks style. Staggered releases. First wave. Board complicity. Stocks cratered 40%. CEOs scattered like roaches. Monday's storm. Congressional probes. FBI sweeps. Technova dissolved. Assets auctioned for reparations. I testified Tuesday. Hill Rotunda echoing. We coded convenience on the backs of the broken. Time to debug. Senators squirmed. Donors ghosts haunting. 1. Grizzled Hawk. MS. Reyes. Your methods, extra-legal. Vigilantism. Survival, I countered. When systems fail the vulnerable, we hack back.
Cameras flashed. Memes minted me aican. Latina evenge.
Glitch in the machine. But icons bleed. Wednesday. Javi's bachelor pad hit again this time. Firebombs. He escaped. Singed I didn't. Anonymous call. El Lobo's cousins say hi. Weddings off. Cousins. The Hydra's heads. Torres locked us down. Safe house in Marin. Cliffs and pines mocking urban exile. There. Ring exchange simple. Sunset vows. To reboots he toasted. Champagne fizzing. To us. But bliss fractured Thursday. Sarah's suicide note. Smuggled out. Lucia wins. Finally free.
Free.
Her eclipse ended in void. Grief? Fleeting. She'd chosen her code. Friday's finale. Cartel remnants rolled up. Miami to Matamoros. My dumps fueled it. Justice. Viral. Reyes AI thrived. Global. Grassroots. Clinics in Chiapas. Schools in the Bronx. Elena partnered full. Mateo. Redeemed. Coded clean. A year on. Golden Gate vigil. Fog lifting. Bridge humming. Javi's hand warm. Our first scan app pinging. Bias free. Saving lives. Rebirth's arc. From bullet to beacon. Betrayal sting. Faded scar. Controversy. My crown gaudy.
Hard one.
America's promise. Rise.
Fall.
Reboot. I chose rise. Messy. Maverick.
Mine.
But in quiet codes. The hook lingers. That smile. That shot. Second chances demand thirds.
And I'm ready.